Hello, so welcome to the first episode of my crime cast. Over the next few months, we'll end up exactly figuring out where we're going with it, but for right now, we are looking at crime and horror in different types of scenarios. This first one hits a little bit close to home because it is about someone that I knew or thought I knew. So back in 2016, I began working in a body shop. That body shop was just a few doors down from a brewery that we used to go to, have beers. My wife came to work with us. She'd go have beers with us as well. We never spent more than $20 or $30 at this place, even though we were each having 5 beers. We'd buy a round for the table, we'd buy pitchers. Just, we thought the owner had been bringing his vehicle to us, so we thought that was kind of like a discount for us. So the brewery opened in 2015, and it was a nice building in a nice town of Allen, Texas. The owner presented himself as having a lot of money, drove a big truck, lifted, a whole bunch of accessories on it. The business was a quaint local pub that you really can't call it a pub, but it was a microbrewery, and they were canning. They were distributing to vendors. They distributed to at one point they got FDA approval for hand sanitizer during the coronavirus. I did speak with the owner, Keith Ashley, and he told me that they were in the process of getting it distributed, but the hand sanitizer is what saved the brewery, because they were just literally days from having to close this brewery. Well, to fast forward to October of 2020, I click on my computer and see that he has been arrested, and to find out he had been under investigation for 7 years for financial fraud. So that's when I started digging, and I found out a little more information about Keith. Keith was originally an RN. He opened the brewery. It was struggling. In 2016, he became a financial consultant. The funny thing about it was, he said he was investing this money into different financial products for his clients. Unfortunately, that's not what he was doing. He was funneling that money into this brewery and using it to finance this lifestyle that he couldn't afford. He got the trust of his clients, and at one point he even got one of the clients to make him the beneficiary on the life insurance policy. So in February of 2020, everything's starting to get really tight for everybody. It's alleged that Keith had gotten some medication from the hospital he was working at, and injected one of his clients. This client, he had already taken $1.1 million from. drug was an anesthetic, and when he injected him, almost immediately he fell asleep. It was at that point that a gun was put to the client's head and the trigger pulled. The wife came home and found the client dead on the floor in his office. Now, here's the thing. The client never did drugs. He was in good health. He didn't own a gun. And he was right-handed. So, he's got a drug in his system that you can only get at the hospital when you're undergoing surgery in his system. He has got a gunshot to the head with his left hand having the gun there. It was determined that Keith had injected the client, shot him in the head, then took the phone of the client and transferred $20,000 from the client's phone to his personal account. The suicide note was typed out without a signature, and the suicide note on the very bottom line stated that if you need anything, reach out to Keith Ashley, he'll help you. So at that point, the feds charged him with wire fraud, mail fraud, theft, and possession of a weapon used in a violent act. With those charges, there were a total of 6 charges in all. They were able to arrest him, take him to court. The Ring doorbell on his house, or the Nest doorbell, that was in his house, shows Keith being the last person to walk in and walk out before the crime happened. In 2023, Keith Ashley was sentenced to life in prison. He is appealing his sentence. Now, in the state of Texas, because the murder would be on a state level, he has not been charged with the murder yet. Those federal charges outweigh the state charges, if I'm understanding that correctly. I'm not a crime professional, so this is all off of the reading. With him having all those charges and a lifetime sentence, there really is no need for the state of Texas to prosecute him for those murders. The families who lost money were happy. The $2 million life insurance policy is no longer in play with Keith, obviously. Now, he is appealing his sentence. If that appeal goes through and his sentence is lowered, then the state will go after him for those murder charges. But that is the story of Keith Ashley. If you want to hear more, please like and subscribe. I will be posting this on YouTube as well. If y'all have ideas, please leave me a message. Tell me what you'd like to see. Tell me if there's any certain cases you'd like. I am already working on one that I think is going to be really interesting for next week. You guys have a great day.